Welcome to Own Your Own Stuff, the way back to connecting with partners, coworkers, family, and community. Featuring your host, Jane Donovan.
Do you want to be right? Or do you want to be happy? The divide is real and gaining traction every day. People are hurting, relationships are ending or being severely damaged, emotions are heightened, unconscious reactive behavior is firing out energetic arrows of harm everywhere, and we are witnessing the destruction of the old way of being. However, we are also being called to create the new pathways to unity, connection, compassion, forgiveness, and love. The learning curve of how to bridge this divide is massive, and yet here we are, having the important conversations and trying out new ways of being. While we know the divide is a deliberate creation, what really is the divide? Is it the battle of the vaxxed versus the unvaxxed? Is it the battle of the genders, or religious programming, suppression of activism, dismissing the elderly, propaganda of truth, fear of another culture, a war on colour? Or is it something simpler? We are born as energetic, loving, living creatures who desire deeply to connect with another physically, etherically, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, and socially. Yet divided we are, and never more so than with the challenge that commenced with COVID in 2020. I don't believe there's a person on this planet that hasn't experienced relationships being strained to the point of breaking, be it with partners, family, friends, or co-workers. Many relationships have ended, possibly permanently, or I hope many of these same relationships have more been put on pause for the time being until we can work out a better way to connect. Is it time for damage control? Can relationships be resurrected? Can we reconnect after complete disconnection? Can we go backwards in time? Or can we build something new together, something not before experienced? And as a result, not just reconnect in a new way with those we may have loved and perhaps temporarily lost, however, also taking the strong relationships we do have and make them even stronger by taking them to a whole nother level. Let's dive in with some of my favorite tools to move up the emotional ladder, to tap into the love frequency and start to connect even better. In the first episode, I spoke how the best quality to bring to any relationship is the ability to own your own stuff and to take self-responsibility for your emotions, behaviors, and happiness as yours alone to manage. And I shared ways to be in rapport rather than out of rapport. Building on this, I have some tools that have helped me immensely over the years to energetically hook into the love frequency, particularly when in challenging or potentially confrontational situations. My first go-to is the positives list. I use this tactic when I'm in a situation where I've got time to prepare for a specific conversation. This is where I encourage you to grab the old-fashioned pen and paper and start to write a list of all the positive things about the person you're going to be having a conversation with. This list can consist of the big things and the small things. It could be that you're grateful that they know you so well, that they bring you your favorite cup of tea made perfectly, just how you like it, that they will always be there for you, that they've always been loyal to you, that they know your shadow side and still stand by your side. So the big and little things. This is a huge brainstorming list of all the reasons you are grateful to have this person in your life. So make this list as long as you possibly can. Write down the memories of times they demonstrated qualities you admire, actions that endeared you, ways they impressed you. The longer this list is, and the more time you spend on this list, I promise you, the greater the results will be. This list serves many purposes. However, the greatest one is that it reminds you of the value of the person to you and the connection that you've had, likely over a long period of time. And by the way, keep adding to this list as new memories, awareness, observations, or occurrences happen. Pop them onto the list too. This is a living document that continues to evolve and grow, and it has a powerful purpose to assist us in connecting with the love frequency. Typically, when we have a confrontational conversation or a situation where someone has triggered us and truth is needed to be spoken, if we are unaware, we can slip easily into a victim mentality and want to make us right, and as a result, it makes the other person wrong. I'll tell you a little story. I once had a client who was really angry that his wife hated cleaning the house. Now, this couple got on really well. They enjoyed traveling together, had a great social life, enjoyed lots of shared interests, but according to him, she was lazy around the house. She was a successful author who worked from home writing short stories, and he was a senior partner in a successful legal firm. So both these professional people, they were earning good money. Now, he wanted to come home from work to a clean house. And because his wife didn't enjoy cleaning, he had to spend every weekend doing it himself, when what he really wanted to do was enjoy his time with her. So I asked him if he'd considered paying for a housekeeper, someone who could clean and perhaps also prepare a nice meal for them both to enjoy at the end of a long working week. Nope. He felt that it was a waste of money. He said his wife was quite capable of doing the housework and it was her job to do so. I asked if she'd always been this way, and he said yes. He said she'd never enjoyed doing the housework. So I questioned, why would you expect her to change? Because it's her job, he said. He felt he did his share and he just wanted his wife to do hers. He would not compromise on this. He deeply believed he was right, and as a result, his marriage ended. If he could only have let go of his need to be right and instead embraced a need to be happy. However, as he chose to be right over being happy, the relationship with his wife completely fell apart. So now back to the energetic purpose of this list. If you are really annoyed about something with someone and you take time to read and review the list you wrote about them, I mean really feel each statement or story or observation that you've placed on this list, you will feel a real vibrational shift in your physical and emotional body. You will start to move into deep gratitude for this person being in your life, and now you are fully aware of everything that's at risk of being damaged if you continue with a commitment to being right. This helps balance the scales between being annoyed at something they've done or said, and while this can still be addressed, the most important thing that happens with this list is that now you are ready to have a reasonable conversation with them about your truth without it being a victim-slinging match. Now you can have an in-rapport conversation, enabling you to take the relationship to the next level. Another tip is that when you are embarking on a disagreement, pause and ask yourself, how important is it to me to be right on this? It just may surprise you to find that on many occasions, it is not important at all. Choose your battles wisely. Be selective in which ones you feel strongly are in need of having someone else share your opinion, or at least understand with compassion your opinion. And if it isn't important, then please just let it go. Are you really prepared to let go of a relationship or dismiss someone important from your life because of a disagreement? Make sure it truly is important to you and not just your projection of what you perceive to be right. Oh, and by the way, a tip. An argument is literally just two people having a fight over who has the biggest victim story. Is it poor me or is it poor you? Eye rolling time. This tool I've used many times in life and often in my working career. I have a list for everyone who's important in my life that I can reference any time I want to increase the love frequency with my engagement with them. And while on lists, journal books are super important to document your new evidence of that which you're experimenting with, new observations, or still figuring out. The way we move from hoping or believing to a solid place of knowing is to gather our own evidence. We often think we are doing that in our heads. However, many studies have proven that we will only retain information that supports our current situation or story. By having written documentation of your personal experience trying new tools gives you a reminder of what has worked for you in the past, and therefore, when we do occasionally forget these things and fall lower in our love frequency, this written evidence becomes highly valuable to assist us in raising the vibration and frequency. And this evidence, it's unique to you, and not just because someone like me came along and said, hey, this works. Now for one of my favorite tools to elevate relationships to a new level and right into the high vibration of the love frequency. Let's talk about the 5 love languages. This is a book written by Gary Chapman back in 1992. And while Gary shares this book is to express heartfelt commitment to your mate, over the years, I've used this tool with all those I love, and even with some I don't love that much. It's a great way to assist in bridging the divide when it happens. So what are the 5 love languages? Each of us has 1 or 2 primary ways that we feel and express love best. However, it's believed that there are 5 dominant ways that people in general express love. And this is a wonderful tool to help you to educate others how best you feel love. And if you use this tool to identify friends and family members' love languages, it can be a very powerful way to help keeping people feeling your love connection and frequency. So the 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, quality time, and gift giving. I'm going to give an example here. I'm going to use my husband and I. So my main love language is words of affirmation, probably hence why I love podcasting. And my husband's love language is acts of service. Now, in times gone past, when I may feel a little distant from him or a little insecure, and maybe I'd move into a little bit of the sulky, needy vibration and share the old, you don't love me anymore. Simon's response would be, what do you mean I don't love you? I've just washed your car. And then I would respond with, I couldn't care less about my car being washed. And now we have my husband feeling perplexed and me sulky and insecure. The truth is that Simon was doing an act of service for me, and this is the way he expresses love. However, since words of affirmation is my way of expressing and feeling love, I need to hear the words from him and not an act of service. So there are 2 ways to look at this. Put my big girl pants on and intellectually realize that he does love me and has just demonstrated that by washing my car. Or I can educate him on how I best feel his love by hearing his words. And the flip side of this, if I want Simon to feel my love deeper, then I need to go and wash his car and not spend so much time speaking of words such as, I love you. I've also used this in my career. Think of the boss or co-worker who just doesn't get you, and no matter what you try, you just can't seem to get a connection going. Have a look at what their possible love language is, and then try communicating to them in that way. A hint to what their love language is, because I'm pretty sure you're not going to go and ask them to do the love language test. However, a hint to what their love language is can be seen by witnessing how they reward other people when a job is well done. Is it words, actions, touch, time, or gifts? Then give them that and see what happens. Another way to know someone's love language is to observe how they behave when they are triggered. Whatever love language they withdraw from you or others will likely be their primary one. An example is, if I'm triggered, I'll go silent on someone. And as my second love language is touch, well, the hugs childishly get held back too. Knowing your primary love language is powerful. However, more powerful is knowing another's and speaking in their language. This one tool has assisted thousands of relationships to go the next level by really feeling the love frequency. Get creative with ways that you can express the different love languages. However, also know that some are harder than others. An example is, if you're a busy executive traveling a lot and your partner's love language is touch, then that's going to be tricky. However, being aware of this, it enables you to take the responsibility to make sure that your partner's love bucket is full right up to the brim before you are going to be absent from their life for a little while. This is also a fabulous tool for parents to know about their children. Both my children have different love languages. Actually, all four of us in our family do. However, knowing what my children's are has definitely elevated our connection, and it's valuable to use when they're in need of soothing or comforting. If you head to the website 5lovelanguages.com, you and those you love can take the free quiz, and they email back your results immediately. Really take the time to consider what those you love have as their language. Because in the end, if I really want someone to feel my love for them, be it my partner, family, friends, community, or co-workers, then this is my responsibility. And it's my responsibility to talk in their language so I am felt deeply in their soul. This is the Love Frequency Connection. Thanks for listening.
You have been listening to Own Your Own Stuff with host Jane Donovan. To connect with Jane, head to janedonovan.com.au.